Hey, Southern Mail here. I wanted to talk to you guys today. I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman, and I wanted to share it with you and go over a few things, mainly looking at male nature. And if I sound like I'm breathing kind of funny, I'm just getting over walking pneumonia. It's had me kind of down and out for a while, and so I'm still having some difficulty breathing. But anyway, I was talking with a confirmed bachelor the other day. And him and I were kind of sharing war stories together. And we got to talking about, he had never really followed deeply on women's nature and so forth. And I suggested going out and taking a look at MGTOW. And that there was a lot of great information out there that explained why women do what women do. And why we have so many problems with conflict resolution with women. And he had told me that he had been out and listened to some of the MGTOW information online, found it very interesting, but when he got down into the comments of most videos, that's where we lost him, because he saw that as, if that's MGTOW, then they're not much different from feminists. Feminists run around shooting off their mouths at men, saying how much they hate them, and in our comment sections that same sort of attitude is showing up toward women. We don't do well with conflict with women, and the problem with women is ever since they fell out of their mother's womb, they've been told that men shouldn't ever hit a lady or hit a woman. That changes when a woman assaults a man. Saw a video a while back where a woman Marine, very well developed lady, she looked like she'd be a lot to handle, was put out a challenge that she could whip any Marine in the Corps, and some fella took her up on it, and he actually got booed by the other Marines because he showed her no quarters. He beat the snot out of this woman and didn't back off. And he got booed by the other men. All right. So they thought he should, go easy on her. But he won the fight. Enough said. What people need to start looking at is we, as a base nature, are violent. Men are violent. You get two alpha males or an alpha and a beta male in each other's grill, sooner or later, if they can't resolve the heated discussion, will turn into a argument, which will turn into violence, all in pretty short order. Not a lot of nonsense goes on. Okay, that's part of our nature. That's our instinct. We are protectors. We are defenders. We don't take a lot of crap from people. We don't usually back up, and we don't usually back down. And if you don't step back, you're in for a fight. It's just the way it is. Part of our nature. It comes with the warrior creed that makes great soldiers. That violence, that determination. All these things are part of our nature. It comes from being hunters, resource providers, creators. It was a man that sharpened the first stick into a spear. It's just the way it works. So we are a violent breed. And throughout our history, we've been rapists. Though society back then didn't look at it as being necessarily that, it was to the victor went the spoils. And when you look at female nature, it kind of coincides with it. A woman will wander off with the guy that killed her husband in a battle, because he's just proven himself to be the better alpha male between the two of them. And her nature says, I want that better male. So it's what it is, guys. We would go into a village and take over the village, kill the individuals, take their women, rape their women, carry their women off. That's the way it worked. Modern soldiers face the same kind of situations. In virtually every war that we've fought, there have been atrocities committed against other human beings, and a lot of it was committed against females. On both sides. It's kind of a universal thing. I think it's the violence and the aggression and the fact that you don't recognize an enemy as being even human. You've moved them into subhuman. And a lot of guys that have served in combat will know the truth of this. Some part of you truly loved it. The adrenaline rush, the not knowing if you were going to survive or not. They say you are never more alive than when you're staring death in the face. And combat soldiers have done that, and they understand the truism of it. All right? So, that's part of our warrior code. So, if you look at man's nature, we're warriors, we're resource providers, we're the opposite side of the coin of the female nature. And we will do what we have to do. So when you look at, we hear all women are like that. All women do have a base nature. Okay, they're hypergamous. They'll ride that cock carousel till they're too old to get into it anymore. So on, so on, so forth. All part of their base nature. Men, if you removed any social controls from us, put us into a combat situation or something where the rule of law is no longer there. Okay, trust me, rapes would go up, sexual assaults would go up, violence to women would go up. All these things would increase dramatically because of the lack of social controls. But even in these kind of situations, there are men who step back and go, this is morally not right. This is not how I was brought up. This is not what I believe in, and I will not participate in this. See what I'm saying? So there are men, even in the worst of situations, are not like that. Kind of the male Nawalts. I firmly believe that there are women out there who are the same way. They know their nature. I've talked with several of them that fully understand their nature, and it bothers them a lot. But women have now been set loose by society. It's okay to go ride the cock carousel. You're no longer a whore if you do. You're an empowered woman. It's okay to turn your back on your vows that you made to a man, saying, I will commit my entire life to you, because you changed your mind. Because after all, you're an empowered woman. See what I'm saying? There's also women who look at that as being, no, if you're riding a cock carousel, you're still a whore. And if you go back on your wedding vows, you are still a liar. So when they come out to a MGTOW site, they are attacked. I mean, viciously attacked. And what ends up happening is we get in there and we start just chewing them up one side and down the other, calling them anything but a human being. And then when they attack back, which is human nature for both males and females, the response then is, see, you're all like that. You just use shaming techniques on me. Well, let me tell you something. If you're calling her everything but a human being, you need to be shamed. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is not how a thinking adult man responds. We need to start looking at, we have a better philosophy. We understand what's going on. All right? We understand how society is coming after us, how the laws have been pushed against us. We understand these things. And we have a solid philosophy knowing women's nature and understanding women's nature. We should be at a better spot to deal with women than anybody else out there, because we understand them. We understand where they're coming from. So why are we not using that same logic and reason in dealing with women when they come into MGTOW? If you don't want to have a discussion with a woman, you think she's invading your space, let me tell you something. The simplest way to end it is just ignore her. Ignore her. Or if she's asking questions, answer her questions with logic and reason, and then let her know, okay, I've answered your question. Now I really don't want to be talking with you any further. And ignore her. Use your common sense, your logic, your reason, and your understanding of her nature to control her. No conflict. If a woman comes looking for conflict with you, if you pay her no mind, she walks away. She craves attention. You don't have to give it to her. Just turn your back on her, make your comment, be a gentleman, and walk away. That's when MGTOW truly will begin to grow, because people will look at this and say they do have a better way. They're not afraid of women. They don't attack women. They don't hate women. They're just done with women. See what I'm saying, guys? Let's rise above them. Let's quit playing stupid games and fighting with them. There's no reason to. Alright? Sometimes I find a little feminist troll and I think it's kind of fun playing a little cat and mouse with her. But eventually I go, okay, I'm bored with this now. So I'm done. Be the man. Be MGTOW. A man going your own way. You understand them. Understand, though, that there's also going to be women come out here who aren't like that. Just like there's men who are not rapists, are not physical abusers of women, even though it's part of their nature. We have a choice. We have a free will. We do have the right to choose our own path. Think on that one. I'd like to hear your opinions on it. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.